Hello, and welcome back to Factorio Space Age. So we have gotten to the point where I am refining my bases on Nauvis and Fulgora and Vulcanus and Gleba towards getting better science out and doing some better research. And it is time to start thinking about how we're going to be getting to Aquilo, because that's going to take a while to get set up. So let's start off with adding a new space platform. This is going to be my Aquilo. I'm going to put in here in the name. Aquilo Transit. We're going to be designing that. Whoops, we do not want to put it in orbit around Fulgora. We want to put it in orbit around Nauvis. I think I have to actually go to Nauvis to do that properly. Oh, I probably just needed to change the planet there. Let's try this again. Aquilo Transit. So he will be in orbit around Nauvis. Now, I have been working on some blueprints that use T2. I've been looking at all of the various platforms that people have been publishing that they have been having success with to try to understand what it takes to get to Aquilo. And to be blunt, I came across a really good design that Avadi did a while back, and I kind of like how it comes together. As you can see in my blueprint book, I have broken it up into a bunch of steps so I can go through how we're building this as we build it and what the various parts of it do. So it has been created. Let us go look at it. Aquilo Transit. I'm going to place a marker there so I can come back to it. So first off, let's grab our blueprint book and we'll put it out here where I can get to it. So this is what the ship actually ends up looking like. We'll get back into that in more detail later. Oh, I do need to build some stuff on Nauvis first. Should have done that while I was waiting. So the key thing is that we're going to require some better parts. So I'm going to go find out where I am building things. I'm looking for where I'm building my power. I'm just going to slide this in here. Now, we can't make them yet, but we're going to be wanting basically increased quality. Oh, why don't you have quality? You guys are supposed to have quality modules. Where'd they go here? You do not want quality modules. So basically what I'm going to do here is I'm going to be creating the turrets and the rocket launchers that we need in great quantities with modules set up so we can get higher quality. And we're going to keep making them until we have 20 rares of each of them. Then over here, we're going to gather all of them together in this box. And if we have too many of them, we're going to recycle them. And we're going to gather the higher quality ones up here. That's great. In order for all this to work, however, we do need to get our research going to go to Aquilo. It's going to require rocket turrets and Aquilo. And we're also going to require more physical weapons projectile damage. We are going to be shooting rockets and guns at all of these incoming things, and I want to basically punch that up as high as it will go, as fast as we can, once we have all these set up. I want to get Aquilo early so I can set up schedules for it and so on, but then we're just going to run projectile damage out through the end. So the moment we have this unlocked, we'll start making rocket turrets. There we go. Back to my Aquilo Transit. Currently, you do nothing. So I have a deconstruction planner that basically cleans off everything. Basically, it's a normal deconstruction planner that cleans off all entities. I've told it also always clean all tiles. So I can use that to pick up stuff and not have to go over it twice. Really just a convenience. So hub and cargo. So the center of this ship is that it's going to be carrying a fair amount of cargo. So we want 10 of these cargo bays. And we're going to be managing a Sushi Belt. And the Sushi Belt will be giving us ammunition and rockets. We'll be taking ammunition and rockets off of the Sushi Belt and putting them in here. This way we can feed them directly into our most critical defensive systems directly from the hub without waiting for the ammunition to come around on the belt. Avadi likes the aesthetics, so he put some lamps out here that are aesthetic. Their color is based on the contents of the Sushi Belt, which I thought is really great. And then I realized that it's not just great because it's pretty, it's great because I can glance at this part of the ship and I can at a glance tell how healthy it is. How much stuff is on the Sushi Belt. It doesn't look at what's in the hub, just what's on the Sushi Belt. And the colors basically sets it up differently in different ways, but we can look at them and we can, if one of them is really dim, all these are low. If it's really a saturated color, then one or two of them are low and the other one's high and so on. Anyway, so what I'd really love is if they were all really bright, but we never get that many of them on the belt. So this gives us cargo, it gives us a monitor. We also start off with some solar panels so that as we construct this, we will have some power. And we're going to leave those solar panels in until we have the real power. And that is what's next. Now, I am not going to stop and wait for all of this to build before I go on to the next thing. Although I would like the solar panels in. There we go. Thank you. Yeah. Clean space. No, we want to go to power. Our power is nuclear. When you get out to Aquilo, you look here, notice that Aquilo, solar power in atmosphere at 1%. So the solar power really kind of sucks out at Aquilo. We don't want to use solar. So we need nuclear. I'm going to use 2 power plants. That way, with the neighbor bonus, we will use less fuel. So we fuel these 2 guys up and they heat up, and then they get their neighbor bonus, which is above and beyond the energy from the fuel cells. Let's go ahead and request in the fuel cells and the repair packs now. So the idea here is to get this down early so we start warming up the nuclear power plants. We won't have water for a while, but we can at least have the power plants hot and ready to go for when we do get water. Because they do take a while to warm up. Okay, next step. Forward defense. The idea is to use the rockets to shoot down any of the big asteroids. So we have to use rockets on the big asteroids. That's great. So we're only going to shoot rockets at those. We're going to ignore everything else. We're not going to bother shooting rockets at small asteroids. That would just waste rockets. We also have normal gun turrets, which are going to be shooting at the mediums and the smalls. We're not going to waste bullets shooting bullets at the big ones. And that covers us. Having these centered means if we put these guys on the very edge, it will shoot a lot of asteroids that we're not interested in. So we kind of bring them closer into the middle. So we're only going to be shooting at asteroids that are likely to come near. Now our total width is only going to be 20. Why? Well, in real life, the effectiveness of your propulsion system is based on the mass of your vehicle, okay? So if your vehicle is twice as massive, then you need twice the propulsion system to move it. roughly. There's a lot of stuff that goes into that. For further references on that, please see my previous series on Kerbal Space Program. I'm going to have to get back to Kerbal sometime soon, or Kitten Space Agency, but that's another story. That's going to be wonderful. I'm looking forward to it. Anyway, in Factorio, the propulsion model is different. First of all, you tend to have a 10 kilometer per second transit rate toward whoever you're closest to. So if we're between two planets, let's say we're headed from Fulgora to Gleba. For the first half of the trip, we have gravity pulling us back to Fulgora at 10 kilometers a second. Second half of the trip, we're pulling toward Gleba at 10 kilometers a second. So if you don't have your engines on, you're going to have that 10 kilometer per second drift. Secondly, when you crank up your engines, which we don't have built yet. Oh, we're ready to build the next thing, right? Defense mid. The more force your engines turn out, the higher your speed. So their model is a friction model. So for a certain amount of fuel, you'll tend to accelerate to a certain speed. And the closer you get to that speed, the slower you accelerate. So you kind of curve in on it. So it doesn't snap you to the right speed. It gracefully brings you up to speed or down to speed or whatever. If you cut your engines, you slowly lose speed. So we can indirectly control our velocity by controlling our throttle. Now, the faster you're going, the less efficient your fuel is. So at 50 kilometers per second, your fuel is 100% efficient. And as you go faster, it gets less and less efficient. So we don't want to go too fast. Okay, next thing is the grabbers. We'll get back to this in a moment. The grabbers, those up front. So any asteroid bits we see up front are fair game to pick up. And you'll notice that these are set up to have filters on them. So this is something I've done a lot before, where we have these guys that says we are interested in these three things. This comparator grabs and says, okay, what is on the bus? I am not sure why the combinator is there looking at this. I'm really not. So this is looking at everything on the Sushi Belt, and then we're adding to it one of these guys, and then this guy is right. We're adding one, so we always have one. That's why. So if we get 39 on the belt, then this signal will go above 40 and we will not be outputting it. So each signal where the 1 plus the total on the Sushi Belt is less than 40, we're going to output a 1. And we're going to output the count on these guys. We could output 1 if we wanted. And this gets sent directly to the asteroid collectors, which are configured to set filters. So whatever we don't have enough of on the bus, we get in the asteroid collector. This is actually fairly clever. Typically what I've done before, I haven't looked at this design in a while. Typically what I've done is actually have a decider combinator for each kind of asteroid. It gives you a little more flexibility, but it does take up more space. And Avadi's desire here was to keep this guy 20 cells wide. So the wider it is, that was what I was getting at on the propulsion system. Instead of mass, it uses the width of the ship. So the wider the ship is, the slower it goes. Okay? So the wider the ship is, the more thrust it takes to keep it going the same speed. So that's where I was going with that. Anyway, so we're trying to keep the ship 20 wide, which means these solar panels are going to have to go away. Of course they are. And it means our space is limited because we didn't want to build one infinitely long. We could make this longer, There's several places in this design where I think I could cut across the ship and lengthen it and put in stations in the middle. For instance, here, I could extend both north and south here, putting in more of these cargo stations. I think I would put in more defenses going north. Coming south, we would end up stretching some things. I probably would put it in on the northern side. Okay, smelting. We are going to need some iron plate. Iron ore is one of the things we get from asteroid crushing. So we'll have iron ore in a moment. But we'll put this in because it's the next in line. We'll get to who's using it next. But the thing to remember here is that we are going to have iron ore and calcite on our Sushi Belt. So it becomes very efficient for us to use the foundry to melt the iron ore into molten iron, and then another foundry to cast that molten iron into iron plate. So that will put iron plate on the sushi bus in, replacing the iron ore and the calcite. Okay, that allows us to make ammunition, specifically the Firearm Magazines, which we are going to be putting into our turrets here. Real simple. And 2 of these is apparently enough. His design only had 2. I've flown this around a few times, and it seems to work. Seems to be enough. So we're not gonna change anything until we have reason to change it. That's my usual thing when I'm using any design that somebody else originated. Okay, asteroid crushing. To keep it small, he pulled a trick that I really like. First of all, over here, these 2 guys have their recipe set from the combinators. So this combinator says if we have less than 60 ice, okay, and we have more than 30 or more calcite, then use oxide asteroid crushing. Not sure about, oh, okay. Anyway, so if we've got enough calcite and we don't have enough ice, where enough is these numbers, then just use normal asteroid crushing. Meanwhile, the other combinator says, if we don't have enough calcite, then please run the advanced oxide asteroid crushing, no matter how much of the other stuff we have. If we don't have enough calcite, we want to run the stuff that gives us calcite. Similarly here, if we're short on sulfur, but we have enough carbon, then use the advanced. Okay, if we're short on sulfur and we have enough carbon, then use the advanced carbonic asteroid crushing. That will give us sulfur along with the carbon. However, if we don't have enough carbon, always just run the normal carbonic asteroid crushing. I am not sure why that's the prioritization. So the advanced carbonic turns out, there's carbonic, okay. So it's going to go back and forth between the 2 as we get things in and out, and I will have to look at them to work out what's going on here. But this is the prioritization that I've already used. I'm not changing it until it shows that it isn't working. In any case, it says if we need carbon, use the normal asteroid crushing to get it. Okay. If we aren't particularly short on carbon, but we are short on sulfur, then use the advanced crushing. And then over here on this side, these guys, against that recipe from here, we have 3 possible recipes. Basically, this says if we have more than 20 metallic asteroids and less than 10 carbonic, or more than 20 and less than 10 of those. So if we have a lot of one and not enough of the others, then we want to do the reprocessing of that one asteroid. And that's all 3 of them the same way. So more than 20 of me and less than 20 of you, or less than 20 of you. And this is, those of you who do computer science will recognize this as being disjunctive normal form. It's always the or of a bunch of ands. If I could have reversed that, it would have been this and that or that. Would have been a little simpler, but we use disjunctive normal form here only. We're not allowed to change ands and ors to nest differently. So these three all will tell us we want to do A, we want to do B, we want to do C. It is quite possible that we'll end up with more than 20 of two kinds of asteroids and less than 10 of the third one. So we put in the selector combinator here. It says pick one randomly every 240 ticks. So every 240 ticks, it picks one of the signals that it sees and outputs it. It will do that for the, for the remainder of those. So this will occasionally switch which asteroid we are taking care of in here. That's fine. Next. This is the rocket production. We've already done the ammunition up here for the guns. Now this is the ammunition for the rocket launchers. We got water coming in. So we do chemical plant doing this guy, coal synthesis. We grab sulfur and carbon off of the bus. We put it in water and we get out coal. And that coal is needed for explosives. So explosives take, again, sulfur and coal and water and turn out explosives. Those explosives are then picked up and combined with the iron plate to make rockets. And all of that uses the Sushi Belt to go back and forth. And now propulsion. Avadi actually starts off by showing the propulsion system. It's kind of important, and I was talking about it earlier. I'll repeat what I said earlier. The more engines you have, the more potential thrust you have. The more fuel you give them, the more thrust they develop and maintain. Okay? So in theory, each one of these can consume 120 per second fuel and oxidizer, and that will get you up to a certain speed. The wider the platform, the slower it goes for any given thrust level and so on. So you want this to be narrow. You want to have enough thrusters to reach your desired speed. Now, how do we control our speed? Well, up here we have a counter. I am going to run this down to divide by 8 so we can see the values of the counter. I believe this is a period of 10. Okay. So it goes from 9 to blank and then back to 1 and so on. So we just have this signal circle which goes around. It's kind of a clock signal, and it takes 10 time ticks to get all the way around. So that's 6 times a second. We now have the pumps, which say if it's less than 1, we're going to turn on the pump. So these pumps normally can produce 1,200 per second. This means we will be pumping on the average 120 units of fuel per second. Divide that 4 ways, and that means we're going to be burning 30 units of fuel per second in each one of these thrusters. We will monitor what the efficiency is and all of that once we get these going. We also have some defenses which tuck down here in this little hole. So we put a couple of rocket turrets and a gun turret in on the back. We don't want to leave any part of this ship undefended because we will be, from time to time, parked in orbits that are not clear. So when we're orbit around Aquilo, we are likely to have things coming in at us from all directions. So we want all directions covered. Okay. Now, finally, notice we've got the Sushi Belt parts of it put in here and there, but it's not complete yet. So I'm going to put in the rest of the Sushi Belt. That also puts in any missing inserters and so on. So that now means that all of our functional units are outputting stuff to the Sushi Belt, and they are taking stuff off the Sushi Belt, and so on. We are now functional. So we got some energy here. The reactors were already hot because we fed them with fuel a while back. And the moment we got a little bit of ice and turned it into a little bit of water, we got a little bit of steam, and these turned out some power. We should be building up water slowly, depending on how much ice we've got. Our grabbers probably grabbed quite a bit of all the asteroids before we started, which makes for a nice start. Now, we're not really going yet. We need to let this cook until several things happen. First of all, the reactors have to get up to temperature. We took care of that. Second of all, I want the water to get high enough that we occasionally get some water going down to making fuel. Okay. Translation, if you ain't got no fuel, you ain't going nowhere. Third, we need to wait until we have all the ammo going. Okay. Now, once we have the ammo going, I could take this off pause thrust right now. If I wanted to. I'm not going to, but I could. We could start sending this to do its rounds. We don't have any cargo that it's doing yet, so we'll have to add cargo lists to it, things I want to pick up and drop off at each planet. We'd like this to move faster, as fast as it can, but using only Tier 2 technologies, if we go too fast, we will destroy ourselves. I do know that as we upgrade this, we can put in stack inserters, which means that our Sushi Belt will be able to carry more materials, which means we'll be able to stock more things. If we can put in some uncommon or rare things like grabbers, that will be helpful. So, the first thing I want to do here is I want to upgrade a whole bunch of things to uncommon. So we're going to grab, we might not have uncommon materials available for us, but we're going to upgrade, we're going to blueprint upgrading from normal to uncommon. Once everything's at uncommon, I'm going to blueprint upgrading a bunch of things from uncommon to rare. So first off, I want my asteroid collectors to be uncommon. Oops, from common to uncommon. We're going to do this stepwise. This way, if we don't have enough rares, eventually we will have a platform that has whatever rares we've got, and the rest will be uncommon. If we don't have enough uncommons, the rest will be normal, but at least we'll have some. I'm going to do the same thing with the rocket turrets. Well, the gun turrets we'll do first, and the rocket turrets. Upgrade these to uncommons. Okay, so that's got our grabbers and our turrets. I think I'm going to do the same thing with my cargo bays, I think. That'll get us more inventory, which is always kind of cool. There we go. Now, if everything is copacetic, we are all pulled in. We are ready here, supposedly. I'm still pause thrust. I'm going to go ahead and do this. This is the Q.2 platform. Q.2 space. We're going to upgrade the whole thing. I'm even going to go uncommon on these guys down here and in the middle. The most important ones are these right here. Now let's see, we brought these in. Currently we have 8 uncommon rocket turrets available on the planet. So these guys have been going. These are limited because they need carbon fiber. carbon fiber comes from Gleba. So we're going to go to Gleba Trader. You are bringing tons of carbon fiber. Oh, yes. So each trip you make, you're bringing a rocket load of carbon fiber. Rocket loads here are 500. Yeah. After looking at the other one, this looks so boxy. Oh. You realize, of course, that once we get the new Gleba Transit going, I may have to rethink all of my little boxy traders. Especially since they move so slow. These are a little expensive to build, but that's capital cost. And because we are willing to sit and wait, capital cost is nothing. So we have upgraded our asteroid collectors and our gun turrets and our cargo bays. We are still waiting for the rocket turrets. So if I can upgrade everything but the rocket turrets now. We're going to make a copy of this. I think I'm going to put these in my upgrades box. You are going to be Q.3 space. And we are going to be changing all of these from 2s to 3s.
Yeah. And they bind.
So the idea is you use the first one to upgrade them to 2s, and then you go through and you use the second one to upgrade them to 3s. Now, I don't want to hit the rocket turrets because they're still pending upgrade, but I do want to hit these guys. And this guy. And
well, I mean, just so you know,
these guys. So we're probably not going to have rare rocket turrets for quite a while. We actually, the test run that I did in the editor, I was able to send one of these all the way out to Aquilo without using rares. So it's not really necessary. Hey, notice that some of these things are very red. Well, notice this red, this high saturation tells us one or two of them are, one of them is very high, and at least one of the other ones is very low. So there we go. And we now have a lot more cargo space. Holy smoke. So these guys, by the way, just to reference it, inventory size bonus for cargo bays is 20. That boosts to 26 and then to 32 as we go higher. There we go. Nothing else is increased quality. We're still waiting on making missiles. Yeah. So these are waiting on explosives. Explosives are waiting on water and coal. Coal is waiting on water. Water is, well, we have a problem with water around Nauvis. Nauvis does not have a lot of water. So we may need to take this and actually run a trip around everywhere but Aquilo. Okay, so avoiding the places where we need to use missiles. So I changed the order here. So the Vulcanus, actually let's start it after Aquilo. So I start at Fulgora. I go, let's see, space map. Normally we do this grand trip around like this. What I want to do is I want to go Vulcanus, Gleba, Fulgora, Nauvis. So Vulcanus, Gleba, Fulgora, Nauvis, and we're going to stop there at Nauvis. Oh, wait a minute. We're currently sitting on Fulgora. We could wait at Fulgora. That would be even better. So we want to end at Fulgora. We can go with Nauvis to Vulcanus, to Gleba, to Fulgora, and wait at Fulgora. That would work. So let's see, Vulcanus, Gleba, Fulgora. And we're going to stop at Fulgora orbit like that. We're actually going to have to do this manually. Oh, haha. We're not going to have any fuel until we get some frickin' water in here. And it's the water that's the problem. Yeah, see, we got 1.4K water. We might get there. I'm going to speed it up. Are we accumulating water or are we using it? We should be net accumulating it. And then the question is, are we going to be getting enough fuel or we're still waiting on building missiles? I probably could have imported some ice from somewhere else and rocketed it up to this guy. Or imported some barreled water. Oh, almost forgot. We can get rid of our solar panels now. Our nuclear power is very stable. We've got enough water. I was going to wait until I hit the 4,000 point, but let's do it now in case I decide, in case I forget when I decide to let this just go. And actually, what I should be doing is I should have Nauvis at the top. We're holding at Nauvis until we have, yeah. We don't need to wait at Nauvis or Vulcanus for those. So it'd be from Nauvis to Vulcanus to Gleba. We'll wait in orbit around Gleba until we have missiles for Aquilo and then Fulgora. Or we could go boom, boom, boom. No, I do need to do a round trip. Okay, so at Gleba, we wait for the missiles. We don't go to Fulgora until after that. I'm going to kill that. So Aquila will normally be after Gleba. And we wait around Aquilo until we have missiles for the return trip. And of course, we're not going anywhere until we have some fuel. I am thinking what I need to do. Do I need to hold until I have a certain amount of fuel available? I do this on my own. He isn't doing it here. Probably because, yeah, I'm going to recover the original schedule for this guy. If I hold down Shift, it doesn't replace those. Good. Okay, so we're back to the original schedule. We'll just use the original schedule. Make sure these are requested in. We are waiting on gun turrets, rare gun turrets. That's okay. We actually have one rare rocket turret now. Huzzah! The thing is, we can also think about making quality module 2s using superconductors. Do I have superconductors available? Am I bringing them with my trader? Are you bringing superconductors back? I'm not actually exporting superconductors from Fulgora. I probably should. Yeah, it's time to do that. You are exporting superconductors. Superconductors are rocket capacity 1000, stack size 200. We'll just do that. Hold on. Go back to Fulgora, please, and pick up your superconductors. Thank you. So you're under 200, so you pick up a rocket load, which is 1000, and you're going to go back to Nauvis and drop those. We have plenty of those on the planet. So that means I can go back to Nauvis. We can go look at these guys, and I can make some Mk.3 modules. Now, I know from previous computations that if I've got this, so I've got 4, 8, I've got 16 of these guys to 12 of these guys. I know that it's a 4 to 3, it's 4 to 3 on these as well. So we need 9 machines making prod modules. I'm going to do prod 3s, but first let's do the quality modules. Let's see here, we want 9 of them. These are recipe, quality module 3. Product is quality module 3. And stock quantity is going to be, say, 400. We need 9 of these total. If I make 10 machines doing them, that's slightly overkill, but it's perfectly all right. Okay, I'm going to grab you, and I'm going to make you a blueprint. The only things that differ, hold on. I think I'm just going to have to do this by hand because I will be inserting a, no, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so Mk.3 module, U. And this is ingredient of 0, ingredient of 0, ingredient of 0, and ingredient of 0. I think that'll work. Drop you down. You are making productivity 3. We're going to go up here. So that's those 2. We're going to be doing speed and efficiency. Now, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do those. This guy actually takes... these should be done on Gleba. So let's sneak them in here somewhere. Somewhere not too far from where they can be useful. Oh, look at what's happened to our stone here. Yeah, we've run this out of stone. I expected that. That's why we have these other stone out here. So where's our rocket launching area? Up here, okay. Let me just toss this down right here. So you're going to be making the efficiency modules here because they take in these guys. And I think we're probably not making the rest of the modules. So let's go back to Nauvis. And grab the efficiency module build. Now this may not work. I don't think we actually have everything we need to do this. I do it here. This is going to be chewing up a lot of red and blue chips, and we might have enough red and blue coming from here to make this work. Are we putting blue chips in our logistics area? I think we're not. I can certainly fix that. I'm going to grab this. I'm going to change this to a parameter. I'm going to put it in right here. And you're going to be grabbing blue chips that we haven't otherwise used. So when you get put in, you'll start to accumulate blue chips. So we may be able to do this. Craft a quality module 3. Yes, I'm getting a whole bunch of these things out. At this point, we are low on power on Gleba. All of these guys need efficiency modules. Very important here. Now, I just realized, what does an efficiency module 3 get us? Absolutely nothing now that I look at it. Look at this. 2 efficiency 2 modules get us minus 80%. Efficiency 3s are useless until you get to rare. So, yeah, this was ill-intentioned. I am not going to do this. I'm not going to waste my time or resources building efficiency 3 modules. There. Now, speed modules. Speed modules actually require tungsten carbide, which we are importing. But that means I can also build them over on Vulcanus for local use. So where are you making your speed modules? You are making speed modules here. I can add these guys. I can toss them in right here. Just like that. So you'll now be making speed 3 modules for yourself. Okay. Back to Nauvis. The quality modules use superconductors. We can build those quality modules on Fulgora. Probably should if we have the rest of this. Is Fulgora making quality modules at all? Fulgora is kind of my stepchild here. I don't believe we are making any quality modules. I'm not dipping into quality yet here. Fulgora is the obvious place to try out quality, but the obvious thing to do with it is you put quality modules in the miners and in the recyclers, and then you end up with everything at multiple levels of quality, and now you have to deal with that across your whole area. Until we can build a really big factory, however, it's not clear how much benefit we get from that. However, I can start building quality modules in anticipation. No, let's not worry about it. I will start thinking seriously about quality when I get up to legendary, when I have the ability to get to legendary, and when I have the ability to landfill this stuff. Instead of just building over it with trains, I want to be able to landfill it to get larger areas to build. You're actually doing pretty good, considering everything. We're scrapping like a son of a gun. We are sorting our 2 green belts worth of stuff. We have massive quantities of everything. Many things at 39 or 40, some things at 60, and things that are 60 are being brought down here to this guy, where they're being recycled. Most important thing is I'm not seeing any of these go significantly above 60. I'm not seeing 70s. So we're not running away with anything. There's nothing that we can't handle so far. So our overflow is still able to handle the overflow. How are we doing for rares? We've got a bunch of rares. We're doing for power. Power is looking iffy, so I'm going to upgrade a bunch of these to rares. Do I have an upgrade thing for Fulgora? I do. I have upgrade planner. So all of these guys that are uncommon, we're going to suggest that it might be a good idea to put in whatever rares we have. And that will help our power over the long run. Okay, and we have hit enough of stuff again, so we'll stop. We will still be dealing with all of the things that we have recycled so far. Some of these guys are likely to have quite a lot of stuff in their output buffers. Maybe. I guess not. Okay. That's possible for them to have stuff in their output buffers that they weren't able to get on the bus. But I'm not seeing it here, which means we're pretty steady state. So, back to Transit Guy. How are you doing? You are still waiting for your gun turrets. We have 20 of them available on the planet. Hello, how many of them do we actually need? We need 11 of them. I'm going to say you. Gun turrets, rare. 12. Custom payload, 12. Send me 12. Thank you. On the way, 20. Whatever you say, boss. Okay, so now our turrets are upgraded. We are actually built, and we are ready to go. All we need to do is accumulate ammunition. So I'm going to say you are at Nauvis. We are waiting at Nauvis until we have 400 of that, and then we will make our way around to Vulcanus, then to Gleba. And I'm going to stop. Where am I? I'm on Fulgora. So what I want this to do is I really want you to go the other way around. So Fulgora to Aquilo to Gleba to Vulcanus. And at Fulgora we are going to wait until I get aboard. Oh, we also need to... Well, we'll do some other stuff before we actually go out to Aquilo. I need to design a starter kit for Aquilo. Aquilo is a very different environment. So what did we do here? I landed here and I fixed up a bunch of stuff last time. And what I was going to do is do some sort of better sorter. Let's get some space in here. What I want to do is I want each one of these to have the ability to get resources out into boxes before we go any further. So let's pick up this much of it. I'm going to put it down here. This is going to interrupt our stuff momentarily. We also need to put down some of these. Doot, just for completeness. Okay. I am going to start thinking about how we want to power these. This gets us going again while I'm thinking. So for each kind of thing, what I want to do is I want to pull off something that looks like this. Okay. Now you are requesting in your LDS. I'm going to change this to any. So if we get any quality of LDS, we'll put it in the box. Okay. And if it's not base quality, it will get kicked out somewhere else. Something like that. Oops. We need to do that for each of the 12 that we can get from this guy. We only need 12. Okay. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put these 4 out here to pick up the increased quality stuff. How do we get RoboPort coverage across all of that? If I do this, we end up with this vast field of things. So what I will do is I will do one for uncommon, one for rares and above. Okay. And power. Something like that. So you are accumulating low density structures. You are accumulating low density structures of uncommon quality You are accumulating low density structures of rare quality and of epic quality. And of legendary quality, which we don't have yet, but I want to start thinking about that. Again, this is all because we're starting to think about quality, even though I don't want to do it for a long time. We're just going to pull it out like that. Bring this whole thing out to here. Now we want to parameterize it. And by default, we are requesting in 1,500 of them, which I really want to be a parameter, which is a fixed number of stacks. And this is the request. Oh, you also need to be same thing. Okay. I forgot to set the other ones. What I want to do is I want to get 3 rows into that guy there. E0 underscore stack size times 30. Okay. They're supposed to be the same thing. So if I put you here and I say you are doing gears, let's take a look at what it did. It set up the filter. You are requesting in the gears. You're requesting in uncommon in your... Oh, that was perfect. Okay. So we can mouse over this to look at what it is. So it's gears. Oh, these guys all need to be trash unrequested. They are. Good. You are solid fuel. Concrete, ice, and steel. Concrete, ice, steel, batteries, stone, and red chips. Oops, red chips, thank you. Copper coils, blue chips. And I think that was LDS and holmium ore. Okay, so that thins down the output from there. It also places it into our logistics network, so it'll count towards the values for the fail-safe. We've got too many of them, get rid of them all. And we just put all these down in their proper places, and you go away. And there we have it. So that'll increase the speed at which we bring in the stuff. Now, there's a very big danger here. We're only going to be putting things into this sorter that made it through all of these guys. Okay, and we are going to be packing these full. So I am not sure whether we are going to be overloading our our last ditch overflow recycler down here or not. If we are, we can always pick this up and put more copies of it down to take care of more things that are above 60 stacks. Remember, the 60 stack limit is we never need more than this of anything, so just, don't worry about it. If I put you out here, I think I can cover that. See if this is adequate coverage. Yeah. Now we're still, at this point, I believe we are throttling our long-term average of our recycling based on what we're actually consuming at the other end. So what is it that we are running low on so we are triggering it? If this is it 20? What is our threshold? Is it 20 stacks of gears that we're running low on? And of course, now those numbers over there on the right aren't going to include all this stuff. So what I want to do now is have all this not based on the quantities in here. I want it based on the quantities from this. So we're going to put you here. We're going to sever the red link here. We're going to put it on here. And you are going to be reading logistics. So this is the number of stacks of each item we have in logistics total. So you can see here that we actually have 78 stacks of stone in logistics. We have a bunch of these that are bumping up against 80. So we have, okay. So that was our 80 limit. So far, this is fine. I don't see any of these guys that are stalled. In fact, I am seeing that we are plus on holmium. Yay! We can make more stuff using holmium if we wanted. We can increase our export quantities of electronic plants if we wanted. Let's do that. What are we exporting? Let's pop this up to 40. Pop this up to 40. Pop this up to 400. And it goes up to 20, to 30, to 40. That will actually double the amount of stock that we keep at Nauvis. Now, if this is stable, then we're beautiful. Oh, look at this. Our projectile damage is already, we're working on damage 11. Remember, I set those up as we don't know how far we're going to go with the infinite damage. It's taken us long enough to build and get the ship going that we've actually gotten projectile damage 10 ready and going. If I look at this guy, how are we doing for stuff? You actually have enough rockets now. Going from planet to planet, we picked up a lot more materials. So you are now fully fueled. Is there anything else I want to do here on Fulgora where I go start looking at what I need to do to set up a base on Aquilo? I am going to have to go think about that one for a while. I really should just do this as a 4-to-2 merger rather than the priority thing. 8-to-2. Let's see, do I have an 8-to-2 merger? Of course I do. I've got the whole balancer book here. So 8-to-2, I want to use TU. TU is throughput unlimited. It means basically that if we have two full belts on any two of the input belts, then we'll manage to get we'll get all of it on the output. If you're not throughput unlimited, it means there's some combinations of inputs where you don't consume all of the inputs properly. We're going to come in here, and I'm going to drop this guy down in here somewhere. So let's do this. We're still maintaining some extra space in here in case we want to do something more. I will put I'm going to put the merger as far to the right as I think I can. Oh, and we need to make you green belts. There we go. Okay, I don't want to put it too close or we'll end up taking the outputs of these and side loading it onto there. Let's leave it like this. So the other question is, given the way that these work, do I want to lane balance these guys? I think I'm going to do this. Let's design a little lane balancer that does something like that. I'm going to put this in. Put it in here. I want to put it as far to the right as possible. Like I said, in case I want to do something else with these belts. No. So we're not actually prioritizing the old original mine anymore. So you are going in here and here. Notice these are beginning to slow down again as my buffer chests are reaching their limits. Yeah, the way this mixes up. Hey, what if I use... Well, if I used white inserters, they would stall out if they saw something of the wrong quality. So that might not be a good idea. So as long as I am trying to make this work for better quality stuff going forward, I guess I need to keep it like this. This is telling me that I maybe need a second set of these. To grab the ones that weren't picked up by the first one, because we've got a lot of these guys here. See, this guy is moving. It's picking up a lot of them, but it's not picking up all of them. Let's see what this stabilizes out to. Okay, so there's that. I'm going to put one more of these in right here. So whatever this unbalances us to, we will be able to drag off of all 4 lanes there. Okay, so total stacks and inventory. I like the fact that we've got a lot of holmium. I don't like the fact that these are getting crazy. I think what I'm going to have to do is add another digit to these displays. Because some of them may be over 100 at some point. Oh my goodness. Oh my sweet giddy aunt. Look at this, 257 stacks of solid fuel. We have fallen behind by far. That's not good. Which means this really isn't enough. So what was my original unit? It was this guy through this guy. I need to put some more of these in. Does these have power internally? No, they don't. So they're dependent upon power being supplied by these rails. Okay. Good enough. We'll just have to keep the power coming in from those rails. So we're going to start from here. Now I'm going to grab this. I'm going to say snap to grid because I'm going to bring you to the right. Now we need the same red signal that came off of this guy, which is getting copied around to all sorts of things. Or I could recompute it above. Not a bad idea, especially since this guy is not really within range of power. I'll take off this wrap. Grab you. Set you up on that corner just like that. Now you guys should all be set. Just need to connect these guys. What I'm going to do is put these in wherever I have a vertical line going down to the next one. Now, what does this guy say? Oh, good Lord, these things are all... These are the quantities that I need to burn. Yeah. Oh boy. So there's the whole thing. Got space for one up here? Surely I have space for one up here. Be nice if I had space for a second one. If I hold down shift when I do it, that should work. Okay. Bring down this red wire here, 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 and here. So we are using many logistic bots. There's two ways to get more logistic bots for me. One of them is to increase the number of bots per roboport, and the other one is to add more roboports. I need to add more roboports for charging. Look at all of this. Holy smoke. So we are going to grab these guys. Take away the robot so I can see what I'm doing. More robot charging here would be good. What I'm looking for is robot charging like this anywhere I have a lot of robots. I can go up here. There. Let's put some more down this direction. Obviously here, next to our biggest use of logistics robots that I've ever made in this game. And I guess up here as well. All those bots. Holy smoke. So this says, oh, these guys don't have power. Gotta watch for that. If the roboport doesn't have power, it's not really going to help charge it anything now, is it? So now, as these guys are saying no, because we haven't got enough robots to put more in, we are waiting on more for the robot frames. Okay, so let's make those. Again, we're just kind of picking up after at this point because we're not ready to go to Fulgora yet, but we've got the ship ready, so just tuning everything else up. Need flying robot frames here somewhere. How about like this? You are making flying robot frames. Those will require electric engine units. That's fine. And we have now outstripped power again. Of course we have. Of course we've outstripped power because we have not yet put in our other power islands. What am I carrying? I'm still carrying the Fulgora Railway Agent, aren't I? Let's build a new one. Fulgora Power. So what do I need to carry when I'm doing power on Fulgora? Don't really need any of that. I potentially will need various size power poles. I probably won't need those. I may or may not need those. I am definitely going to need a lot of substations. Okay. Now I can scan down through here verifying the other stuff, but what I really do need to do is just say I need those guys. And I am going to need accumulators of all sorts. Okay, so we don't have any rare accumulators in stock right now. Fine. They're being used, you know, to upgrade other things. We do have a bunch of uncommons in stock. That's great. Now what I want to do is I want to bridge power and robots over. So other things I need here is I will need 200 robots. Oh, and I almost forgot. Lightning rods. No, I probably should start making the big lightning rods too, lightning collectors. Since they do have more lightning reach, let's get those going. I can use the new lightning collectors on the new area. Let's get rid of the lightning rods. I'll carry 50 of those just so I have some. We're going to go up here somewhere, and we'll just say you are making okay, who makes lightning collectors? Let me guess, they're made in the electromagnetic planets. That's fine. So we're going to just come out here like this. Lightning collectors are the thing you are making, and our stock quantity is going to be 400 in stock. Oh, and we need electrolyte, so that can't go there. Let's go down to where we've got electrolyte. So here's the electrolyte. I can put this in anywhere. I'm going to put it in up here. Somebody needed stone. They don't need the stone anymore. So we're going to take you. I'm going to put you in here. Turn you. Stop requesting an electrolyte because you don't request electrolyte. Flip horizontally. Okay, these will produce at what rate? Per minute, it is 72 a minute. 2 of those is going to be more than enough. So I just need to get electrolyte plumbed up to there. More, come on. One more pipe from a construction robot will do it. We have plenty of construction robots. Why are we not getting that pipe? I'm going to be a little embarrassed if we don't have any pipes. Let's see, pipe. We have 0 pipes. Okay, that's kind of embarrassing. It's like a fundamental thing. I guess we never really focused on building all the fundamental things. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down here. I'm going to say you are building pipes. Do those and those. I'm going to do one more. Okay. And then, because we're not building pipes, we're probably also not building pipe to ground. We have some in storage, but I don't think we're actually building them. Power is in a sad state right now. I'm working on it. I'm working on it. Okay, so we have our pipe. These guys don't have lightning rods. Okay. Let's build that locally. I am sure that I did lightning rods here. Well, I can be as sure as I want, but I'm wrong. Okay, so another thing that we should have built on day one. Now, I could have built these in an electromagnetic plant down there, but I was just too embarrassed to look. And we're going to have 200 of these in stock. This also means that I do not want to be requesting them in. We do want to be requesting in these guys. So this, the range is 25 plus lightning reach, whatever lightning reach is. And if we build these at higher qualities, we get more efficiency. We start out at 40%. I'm really interested in what these start out at. So this is 25 plus whatever lightning reach and 40%. And this guy is 15 and 20%. So we're going to double our efficiency. Oh, we definitely want to be using these. I should have noticed that a long time ago. In fact, let's double our production of these things. So one of these can use up 24 lightning rods per minute. Let's see how many we're building. Maybe I will use the other machines. We need 24 by 4. So I'm looking for 100 lightning rods a minute total. These guys are producing 30, so we need 3 times this. We can do that. Grab this, put you in down where you're needed. So 3 or 4 of these will be fine. Stone is not needed. Why haven't we removed it yet? It was probably down inside cliffs, which we have made go away. Here we go. So I have all of these. So job 1, I think, is going to be replacing the current ones with these. I'm not sure that our lightning collector efficiency is going to be the important thing. I think what maybe just is the accumulators need capacity. It's too bad you can't use an upgrade. You cannot upgrade the one to the other because they're different sizes. This means that these guys are going to charge faster, but if I don't have enough total accumulator capacity, it isn't going to make a difference. So down here, can I request in some cliff explosives, please? Oh, that's on Oil Ocean. Okay. So that's not actually just cliffs. So once we get rid of the cliffs, it's just going to be Oil Ocean down there. That's fine. So I put you there, get rid of you. Now, the other thing is these guys, because they have a wider range, having them along my coastline will help with losing robots. We'll have more, our safe zone will be larger. Get rid of all the cliffs here as I get near them. So as long as I keep having robots bring me more clip explosives, I could just wander around tidying up stuff. Okay, so all that really will have done is made it charge faster. And apparently I cut my power. Well, that's no good at all. Oh, I see what I did. I put in my lightning collector on top of the wrong thing. Okay, so now I need a blueprint to put into this island over here. Will get me all the good stuff. Start off with putting some coverage out. I am not going to worry at all about the other stuff, and actually we're just going to do this. Let my base robots handle all of that out to the extent of the RoboPort coverage. I'm going to grab this. This is the accumulator fill. And we are going to instead replace one of these with that guy. And this is going to be a, oops, X1. I'm going to make a copy of you. I'm going to call this AFill T2. And you are going to have a lightning collector big one. And you are going to select new contents. That. Save. I'm going to need to bring RoboPorts out. I want the base robots to be building this, which I do. Notice my robots are still turned off. That whole area is set up for base quality of these guys. I'm going to head out this way until we run out of range on him. I'm going to just put you down there. When we come north, and just put you down somewhere convenient. Now these places that have no power, we're going to grab these guys and try to put coverage in. See at the edge there, that doesn't work. And you can come out to here-ish. And you come south to here-ish. And we come west until these are lined up. Ish. And this is pretty much covered. I still need to go up a little bit as we just go straight up here until these are all aligned. I'm going to turn my robots back on because I'm holding on to a bunch of accumulators that I can put down. Back to X1 speed, and now we fill in more of this stuff. I may just have to wait on the rest of this until we make more accumulators. We made a lot of them, but we didn't make an infinite number of them. Okay, so we've got a whole bunch here that are tier 1 accumulators, which I can bump up to these guys. As we upgrade them from common to uncommon, the common ones will then get filtered in over here. These guys are all filled in, so we can uncommon those up. I wish I could have my suit charge from the local power grid. I think enough of this is filled in that I can just ask for all of these to be made uncommon now. So let me do it from here. And I am going to get rid of my accumulators from what I am holding so that the base bots will handle all of that. So how are we doing for power now? Well, we're doing much better. I think this is still heading down towards 0 at the wrong times, but we just charged up to the higher level for the first time. I don't like how fast the accumulator charge falls. But it looks like we're good now. Okay, more research. So I researched all the way out through physical projectile damage 11. What else will help us On Aquilo specifically, is there anything here that looks like a well, asteroid productivity can't hurt? I think I'm going to punch asteroid productivity from now. Get that up nice and high. 25K, wow. So the more our asteroid productivity is higher, the more stuff our crushers will turn out on our ship, which means the more effectively we'll be able to fly around. Oh, that's right. Our little thingy that sets up and that does the. We need to get rid of those. Anywhere else where the original Fulgora lightning collectors were poking through? I think I got them. Okay. So, we tend to lose guys on these kind of transits. Let's go down to the southwest beach and let's see if we can make sure these are all set with the better protectors here, extending our coverage out. Kind of like lighthouses at this point. Oh, this guy actually had a second train coming. Cool. Glad to see that logic's working. So we are madly scrapping stuff and putting it in boxes, and things that don't go in boxes, stuff that sneaks through these inserters is making it through to here. So at this point, I guess we're mostly counting on our overflow guy handling all of the real stuff here. We have more and more of these that are in the multiple hundreds. Oh, we're in trouble. We are in desperate trouble. We are just not keeping up. Well, let's see, we're really only scrapping the top 5 elements on the list at any given time. So as long as the top number, the top numbers are going down, it doesn't matter how many of them are too high, as long as some of them are getting beat down toward where we're looking for 18K, although I think that's going up. And we are running out of logistic robots still. Now I started making a little thingy to build more robots. Question: what is it that we need that we are scrapping to get? I'm going to backpack, I'm going to basically sit on the top of this. So you've got red and blue and red and green inputs. Instead of outputting T, let's output each. Oh, we don't have enough of the rares. Oh, that's not right. And we shouldn't be doing construction bots anyway. This logic is wrong. We aren't preconditioning our green line here. Yeah, see, as we get negative things in here, that's going to really screw us up. Okay, I'm glad I looked. Let's go back to add section, common carry around base. There we go. I need to fix that. First of all, I only want to look at signals that are positive, and I only want to look at signals that are base quality. In fact, I only want to look at these signals. So what I really want to do is a dot product of this. Let's move this up a bit. Not of the output of this guy. I don't want X10, I just want X1. So we're going to do this. Oh, I know, I could just do a dot product of it, and that'll get me the right stuff. And we want an arithmetic. So green from there to there, green from there to there, and no green from there to there. For now we have 0, and we say red from here to here, for each in red, times each in green, output each. And I'm not too worried about having negative quantities on any of those. Okay, so that's got that. Go down to here and we say for each in red, which is our reference quantities, greater than the green. So some of the reds are greater than the greens, we're going to do the T. Over here we see what we're missing is stone brick. Yeah, all of this just so I get stone brick. Okay, we need to get stone brick. I'm going to make some stone brick, darn it. So this guy, ingredient is brick, product is stone brick. And the condition here is logistic network. If we have more stone than we have brick. And I am going to put bloody speed modules in these. These are not requesting nearly enough. Now, the quantity of stone that are in these requester chests will not be counted as, toward our condition there. So we are committing to having a bunch of stone stuck in these kilns. Okay. So now we're shut off. All of these need to be set up similarly. Gonna grab that. So all 3 of those. You need to sever that link. Okay, so you're quenched. Okay, so that explains why we're going wild. I mean, it was still needed because of the brick, but let's let this sit here for a while and stew. In fact, I'm going to do one more out here. Let's put an arithmetic combinator. I want to look at the difference. I want to look at how we are doing. So we want to look at red minus green. Each red minus each green, each. So yeah, we have excess of a lot of things. Each green minus each red. So if this is positive, we have more than we want. When they go negative, we don't have enough. We have more than enough of all of this stuff. We even have more than enough brick. Remember what I said? If I've got more stone than brick, I'm making brick. Or alternately, I could say, if I've got less than 5K brick, make brick. Or I could be even more clever. I could say if I have not enough brick and too much stone, then I could do this. That's actually better. Let's do the real thing. Now that we are no longer in crisis mode, I'm going to put in a decider combinator here and a captive roboport. So we are going to say if the amount of stone, amount of brick we have is less than 5,000, and the amount of stone we have is greater than 5,000, then output brick. So I'm going to output 1 brick here. There we go. Oh, come on, Greg. Brick. There we go. Now the amount of brick I want to request here, I'd like to actually just have this come in as a requester amount. But if I set the request amount to 0, no, I need to enable this if brick is set to 1. We're going to do it for all of them. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go from you to you. And you are going to be enable if this signal, which is brick, is greater than 0. Same thing with you guys. Okay, there's your enable. So you guys are set. I will need to jump this from each one to the next. But let's start with this, and we'll go snap to grid. So these are all set now. Connect it across. Okay. So if we ever get in that condition again, we will do it. Now, it could very well be that we will get in a condition where we need a lot more brick, but we don't have stone, or where we got a huge amount of stone and we don't need brick. That's okay. What I want to have happen now is I want these numbers to start going down. Oh, look at this. None of them are above 200 anymore. This is good. This is really good. Basically, we were because of all the excess stuff that was in that signal, aside from needing brick, all the extra stuff that was in that signal was causing us to just fire hose our inventory. If we look at our thingy here, you see the biggest numbers are around 12K. So that is going down. So we are making progress. I think that's good. I'm going to get on our little Aquilo Transit and I head back to Nauvis. Do I have any purple boxes on me? I do. Let's turn off all of this stuff. I'm carrying nothing. I should be able to come over here and have you... Oops. Have somebody let me travel to a space platform. Turn off automatic requests. I want to get on a rocket here. I would do that when somebody came in to grab a bunch of cargo, huh? $72, $74, $72, $76. Yeah, this guy. Okay, so these guys go back on automatic. Okay, you're not ready until you finish your animation, darn it. Travel space platform. And I'm going to turn the automatic back on. I'm going to send the taxi back to Nauvis. So I'm going to call this a recording, much shorter than yesterday's. Hey. And when we come back, I will have figured out something that I want to take with me to Aquilo, because I think that's our next step, is heading for Aquilo. For transit, I want to send you back to Nauvis. And I will see you in the next episode.